Hello, my fellow weirdos. Yeah, it's Saturday night, and I'm trying to just detach and chill. Yeah, people out on the playground. Um, and I'm watching a movie, and they're showing like a carnival that had nothing to do with this movie. It was just a scene, and started thinking, y'all. And then earlier today, I had watched. Yesterday is like one of the big days for the Disney parks, and it was like compared to it was like a normal weekday there or something. And so when I saw it just popped into my head that I'm like, well, now that the big bastard bill has passed, yes, everything's not going to like right this second type of thing, but it occurred to me that part of that, one of the things shoved into that bill is I don't think I didn't look at all of it after the Senate monkeyed around with it to get the holdouts of the Republicans to vote it in the House, and they're rolling back like asbestos, safety precautions, things on, like, I mean, everywhere, food safety, handling, those kind of things, because to people that need to want to turn a profit only, it's like getting the stuff and getting it out. Mass, let's go. They don't care about fucking quality. They don't care about safety. They don't care if it's tainted. And, we didn't get the last E. coli notifications. A lot of places didn't because, they've damaged those emergency systems and things like that. So I'm just telling you, things like amusement park or carnival rides, there are a lot of sketchy places that if they didn't have to follow all these extra rules that cost more money to implement, they wouldn't. The only reason they have them currently, like, oh, well, I trust such and such, nothing's ever happened there, because the laws have forced every place to do it or get their asses sued into oblivion by somebody that gets hurt or the family of somebody who gets killed. Once those are pulled away and there's no more rails, just like the second term of Trump, because that was the German family name, it had an F in there, Trump. Fred took off the F so it wasn't so German. But even places that you trusted and you've ridden on their rides before, as time goes on and they're not being forced to have as much safety and shit, it's gonna be like when we grew up in the 70s, dudes. I mean, I know I tell kids and, young adults what it was like. Where, I mean, some of these rides were like, oh, fuck, And sometimes shit happens, or they didn't spend the money to do the inspections and updates as often and stuff like that. Or not set up properly or secure, all kinds of things. So just be careful from here on out. And the longer it goes before that's stopped, the more chance of more things not being maintained properly, not being printed on the packaging properly. Like, well, how much can an extra paragraph cost them to print? Actually, when you're printing millions of units of something, extra printing matters. It does. It doesn't look like if each individual one, it's like a quarter of a second it took, but multiply that by how many units per hour per day. and it does rack up where they don't have to spend it now. So just be very careful. Same thing with food. Companies that were already lax-assed anyway, are like, woohoo, have already been like, fuck that. Because they know even when it gets a breakout, when something breaks out or something, is killing people, there's not going to be any kind of, maybe occasional local ones or something, but the rest of the country isn't going to know. They're not going to be warned. Keep that in mind. Now that the bill's gone through, you're going to slowly hear all of us tell you all the littler things that aren't little things, but I mean, in prioritizing type of stuff, it's like a shit show, dudes. It's just a clusterfuck, seriously. And as time goes on, you're going to hear more and more things. Oh, did you happen to know? Did you happen to know? I don't know. Did they take that? I don't think they did. Logging. I'm going to have to look at now. I just couldn't stomach looking at all the ways that the Senate tweaked it. So I'm going to have to check that out, but I ain't doing it till Monday because I'm not. It's not going to change it anyway. But I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. Just be careful. There's not going to be those checks and balances to ask. Well, who do I find out if there's a... Just like the storms that hit. What was it? North Dakota? The Carolinas. Whatever. I'm tired. Those were warned to be this bad, and because they didn't have the higher federal ones to bounce their information off of with the other satellites, it actually was this bad. And people are playing the blame game. Well, you guys should have known it was going to be bad. Well, they should have told us it was going to be that bad. Well, what about the fuck us? We don't have FEMA. They took the FEMA money and they built Alligator Auschwitz down in Florida. Yeah, that's where they got that money. They can't pay for all of the things that they cut, but they can pay out of FEMA. They can't pay when storms hit, when that's already been allocated by Congress to be there. Now he's taking that money, and instead of where they need it, remember all the cuts that they have to make, and how, because they have to balance. Well, they're not going to balance. They're taking that and they're building Alligator Auschwitz. Yeah. So they are not going to give a fuck about safety for us. And they're making it so we can't even inquire ourselves, because the companies can't give us information because they don't know. My electric bill, that's getting paid through the bank on Monday. I got an email saying, it's past due. I'm like, on the 3rd I scheduled it and with my bank to pay through my bank, because if you schedule it to pay your utility through the bank, they don't charge you. Like, because if you pay it online, I don't trust the electric company. So, and Optimum, I just don't trust them. So I don't auto pay them. I do with gas and other stuff, but I won't auto pay on an Optimum Mobile. But I won't, because the other ones, they slip shit in. But yeah, my electric went up. Last month it was 40. It's about what it runs. It was 76. It ran that high last year after the second heat wave. That bill came, we didn't even have that heat yet last week. So, but I don't know if you also know this real quick, but part of that electricity stuff, there's a bunch of states that actually get part of their electricity from Canada. Yep. Through the Halifax area. And it's not just, oh, well, it's the New England states. No. Some New Jersey, some New York, and there's one down somewhere in the south that actually taps in partially to that network system and partially to another one. Part of the reason, it's not just the excessive heat, but it's that, and some of us, and then people in Texas, they can charge you whatever the fuck they want because it's their own Texas grid, and they'll bend you over any chance they get. But yeah, I didn't know if y'all knew that, but there are states that get part of their electricity through Canada. Anyway, y'all have a great Saturday night. Just be careful if you're going to go on, carnival or amusement park rides. Right now, it hasn't been that long, that safety stuff, but as a year or so goes on, a lot of places are going to have had to have inspections, and if the federal government, doesn't give a fuck and isn't implementing anything, and said you could take them all back, we don't have anything. The greedy companies, and there are a lot of them, are going to do just that and fuck their club customers. A dead customer can't sue me. I'm going back. Maybe I'll try a disaster movie. Maybe that'll cheer me up. Maybe a plane explosion as it's flying over the volcano. Some like weird ass disaster movie. I'll go watch that. I feel better. That's pretty effed up when you gotta say that. And you're from a first world country and you're saying that. The times, they are a-changing. I'm sure most of you can tell me who said that.